Release the world. Loose the world from all you thought it was. This is an amazing lesson for release to results because it's all about releasing what we thought was, releasing our beliefs about the world, releasing these concepts that the world is out there somehow separate from us, releasing limitations in the fullest. This is really what we're doing today, releasing the world from what I have created it as. So you do not create apart from God. We're allowing this connection, this ability to create the truth of what you really are to come through today as we release the world from all we thought it was. I loose the world from all I thought it was. A Course in Miracles, lesson 132. Would you release the world? Now, there's an idea in here there's possibly a lot of resistance to. The world doesn't even exist. That's what it says in this lesson. Can you believe that the world doesn't even exist? And can you notice that any discomfort there? How much weight have we been putting on ourselves, believing all the stuff that's going on in the world outside is actually real? So today we're going to release some of these thoughts about the world, release some of these beliefs about the world, and come to this place. There is no world apart from what you wish, and herein lies your ultimate release. Change your mind on what you want. Change your mind on what you want to see, and the world must change. So we've been building up to this over the last few lessons, looking at what we really value and looking at what we want in the world and seeking only truth. Well, here it is. The truth is there's no world apart from what you wish to see. That's exactly what we were talking about yesterday and the day before. What you seek, you will find. Have you ever heard that? Seek and you will find. Okay. So just watch out for this pride that's saying the world is separate from you. And what you think doesn't matter about the world. It's not going to affect the world. And could you come to just try this out? There is no world. And what it says here is this is the central thought the Course attempts to teach. And that not everyone's going to be ready to accept it. So notice the resistance to this very idea that there is no world, no objective world apart from your subjective experience of it. So Dr. Hawkins points out to his students is that there's actually no objective out there world. And that's why Einstein, while he did very well, didn't quite bridge this gap from the linear to the nonlinear. So you're welcome to participate in the world as if it exists apart from you somehow, or you're welcome to release the world, loose the world from all you thought it was, and have some fun. Could it be fun to release the world from what you thought it was and step into your sonship, your connection with God, your being at one with the Creator, which has created you like itself? I'm excited about this lesson today. It's going to really shift things for us as we release the world from what we thought it was, all we thought it was. And even if you don't get this today, you will get it. It's guaranteed. You maybe will have a spiritual or mystical experience at some point where you see, oh, wow, what I thought was going on is not actually going on. You may die. The physical body may die. And all of a sudden you realize, whoa, now the world's loosed, fine, free from all I thought it was, released. Let's just get a head start. We don't have to die. We don't have to have the physical body die for this. But even the physical body is a part of this world. And so, if we can release these ideas about our physical bodies, which the world is, our physical body, this physical body, just watch what happens. So, let's do some releasing and let's see what comes up and what we can let go of. Let's loose the world from all we thought it was. So, first off, let's just look at this. Is there any resistance to the idea that there is no objective world out there apart from your mind and your being, your influence? This is that wanting separation. Could you notice any resistance to the idea that there is no world apart from you and what you think and what you value and what you choose to seek and find? If there's resistance, that's okay. I bet everybody has that, especially just starting out in this, or even if you've done it for years like me. Could you allow that resistance to this idea that there is no world out there? There is no world apart from yourself. And could you allow yourself to just get a head start on this rather than doing this again and again and again, and just notice your resistance, if there is any? What does that feel like? And I'm just going to call it wanting separation. Can you notice any of this energy of wanting separation behind the thoughts of there's a objective world out there? And could you allow that up as best you can and just notice that wanting separation feeling? And could you allow that energy to just move some more? And could you release the wanting separation and the world from all you thought it was? Would you release this energy of wanting to be separate and all these beliefs about the world you thought was? When could you release this wanting separation and all the beliefs, or some of them, about what you thought the world was? Setting it free, setting yourself free. And this lesson says there is no world. There is no world apart from what you think about, what you seek and find, what you value. There's no objective out there world, folks. And could you notice any resistance, denial, or refusal of that idea? It's okay. It's okay. Could you allow that up and begin to release it? Though you don't have to release it. Could you just notice any of this energy, any of this feeling behind the thoughts that there's an objective world out there apart from what you think, seek, and value? And I'm just going to call this energy wanting separation. It's just a feeling, though. Could you allow that feeling up? That resistance. Whatever it is, wherever it seems to be, could you allow it to be there? Bring it to light. And could you just let that energy move? Let it be enlightened. Unstick that wanting separation, that resistance to a completely subjective world. And could you allow releasing, enlightening of that energy, that feeling of wanting separation? Could you release it and loose the world from all you thought it was? Or a little bit of it? Would you loose the world from all you thought it was? Release this wanting separation, this resistance to a purely subjective world? When could you release and loose the world from all you thought it was? You're going to have a pretty awesome time. Though you might want to hang on to that wanting separation. It might not be apparent how incredible it is to be in a purely subjective world where your thoughts have a very real effects and you can choose, where what you value and seek you find. Though that's crazy to some people. And just notice if it seems crazy, wrong, or if you're refusing or denying that the world isn't there. It's not an objective thing out there separate from you. Is there any resisting a subjective world which merely appears when you focus on it and disappears when you are released on it? And could you allow any of that resistance up? Any energy of wanting separation, wanting there to be an objective world apart from you? And could you let that energy go? Would you let that energy go? When could you let that feeling go? Let wanting separation go? Let the world go from all you thought it was? This is what's meant by you are the salvation of the world. You are the light of the world. God's will for you is perfect happiness. If you'll allow it, you will bring light and salvation to the world when you loose the world from all you thought it was. And so, could you just notice some of the beliefs you're clinging to about the world. Is the world out there? Do you not have 100% creative control over this world? Does it seem like you're small, powerless? It could seem that way. Just notice any belief you have about the world that you're willing to let go of, to loose. And behind that belief, whatever came up for you, and it's okay without judging or moralizing about it. You just notice the energy, the frequency of such a belief and the thoughts that go with it, that feeling, and open up to it. And could you just surrender this belief? Hmm. Would you surrender this belief which made the world and set it free? The energy, the thoughts. When could you surrender and loose the world from all you thought it was? No rush. It happens if it happens. And what's another belief, or the same one if it's still charged, about the world you have being separate from you in some way, out of your control? And again, that's okay. Could you notice that belief, the charge, the feeling behind the belief, and all those thoughts that go with it? And could you welcome all of it? Nothing to fear, just bringing it to light. That belief, the feelings behind it, just welcoming and surrendering whatever you've discovered. Whatever you've been carrying about the world, could you begin to loose the world? Just surrendering this energy and that belief. You don't have to either. It's just an option. Could you surrender it? Would you loose the world from all you thought it was? Surrender this belief. Surrender this charge, this feeling. When could you surrender and loose the world from your beliefs about what you thought it was? It's going to create a lot of space for you, Creator, Son of God, to experience the salvation of the world by your mere choice. So, noticing, how has the world been contained by your belief? What's a belief that you maybe don't even really like, but you've been holding in mind about the world? And could you open up and allow up how it feels when you're holding that belief, when you're thinking thoughts around that belief. Could you allow that feeling energy to come up and move and just start to enlighten just by bringing it up? And could you surrender this belief, the energy, the feeling when that belief's hanging around? Would you surrender that belief, that feeling, and loose the world from what you thought it was? When could you surrender? Give up what you thought was with the world. Set it free. Savior of the world. All of a sudden, salvation might seem really easy, or it could still seem quite difficult. Just notice how the energy shifts as you allow surrendering and releasing of the world you thought was. Hmm. And so you can continue releasing and loosing the world, freeing the world from all you thought it was. And in doing so, you might play with this. What would you create in the world? If the world is merely an outpicturing of your own imagining, what you're seeking and finding, what you're valuing, could you allow yourself to, just for fun, put something in there? What would you put in the world? And could you allow that and just let it go? Would you allow that thought and just let it go into the world? Your thoughts are going into the world all the time. You are created as God created you. You are as God created you, which means you have all of creation at your disposal. And so, could you loose the world that doesn't even exist? Could you loose the world from all you thought it was and allow the releasing of the thoughts you've held in mind that you'd rather not see in the world? Save it from those. Release the feelings behind those thoughts. Loose the world. Save it from those. And could you walk in the joyous sonship at one with God, free from the world free from that negativity which you adopted in your innocence, but have now the choice to let go of? Enjoy this world that doesn't even exist today and see what you find as you consciously choose what you're seeking, perhaps the truth. Value what you choose to value and release yourself, release the world, release the body, Enjoy your freedom this day. It's a powerful day.